Hello, I'm back again. I've renamed the channel. I call it Daughter of Bast. Um, because I've gotten into the Egyptian religions, I am an ex-Christian. Um, I would like to share my beliefs, my spiritual beliefs as they are today. I am always evolving, as all humans should, learning and not just accepting what I'm told regarding God and the nature of God. I also want to talk about my experiences um, with the spiritual realm. My last video that I did was 6 years ago. I've been through a whole lot since then, grown a whole lot since then, and I have learned more about the spiritual realm. The last video I did was about uh, demonic attack while you're sleeping in the in between state, because that's when it happens. When you recognize that, okay, when that area of sleep they call rapid eye movement, that's the same area you will come up in, like when you have sleep paralysis. That same area is where you are. You can see the spiritual realm, and the spiritual realm can see you. So, and if you are especially bright spiritual light, you're gonna draw all kinds of spirits, good and bad, and you have to learn to protect yourself in that area between deep sleep and awakeness. That in between state is when you are most vulnerable to demonic attack. Excuse me, I'm gonna clap. Hold on. That's my clock. All at once, when I was clapping because I felt something trying to materialize and do little naughty stuff. Also, my phone went off and the clock went off. So this is my goddess saying, tell them, teach them, let them know. So that in between state is when you're most vulnerable, and you need to know you do not have to just be a victim during that time when people say the witch is riding you. You don't have to be just laying there just or trying to call out a specific name. You can handle that. Point of fact, those are very low level spirits that come to you, and because your spiritual muscles aren't worked and strong and strengthened enough, then they have their way with you. But also they are help in strengthening you, making you strong. Problem with that is the higher you go, the higher darkness comes to you, as well as the higher light. So thank God for my God and Goddess. My Goddess is Bastet, Mama Bast, I call her. She has been a mother to me. She has cared for me. She has provided for me, and she guides me daily. And then Lord Jehut, who is Thoth, is who they called him. The Greeks called him Thoth. Now, for people who don't know, Egypt was a thriving civilization well before Greece and Rome came about. Okay, you had what do you call it, the Mesopotamic society, and you had Egypt, which thrived for centuries, thousands of years prior to the conquering by the Greeks and then by the Romans. I want everybody to understand that the Greeks and Romans were also black, just like Egypt was black. Kemet was black, which they call it the land of Kemet means. Let me look that up because I keep and they keep saying that it's because of the dark, rich soil. No, it was the let's see. Black, land of the blacks, or the black land. Um, and and of course the modern day Egyptologists, who all happen to be most happen to be white people, say that that is because the soil was black. And I don't need to tell you. Well, I want you to see this side by side. I'm gonna see if I can edit this right. I want you to see the side by side of this restructuring, or the recreation of King Tut's face. First, by this tragic effort to try to pretend that Egypt was European, and the god awful creature they recreated and said that that's probably how King Tut looked. No, no. But then just recently, a black man did it, and it's beautiful. And I want you to see it. Okay, so there's a concerted effort by Europe to say that Egypt was not black, that it was European, and they have a vested interest in that because it keeps us powerless. What has happened and what is still happening? I'm getting off topic, but this is what I'm being led to tell you, is that your energy and your spiritual power has been stolen from you. And because your energy is being diverted to others, you are weakened, and you are in a weakened state. And they keep feeding you with these immoral things, this rap music, this strip culture, this whole what they call culture of Black Americans spread all around the world, and it weakens you, and you keep giving your power away. That's what's happening. If you are a black man and you're around here talking about black women don't do this and black women ought to do that, you need to understand that your power does not lie in your maleness. Point of fact, black people's power lie with the women. Your greatest gift, your secret weapon, is black women. And you don't even know it. You are so turned around that you don't understand that your power lies here. Read it and weep. It lies here. All of this power can be yours, and you don't have to subjugate it. You don't have to force it. All you have to do is walk in your divinity, which you are not doing. And as long as you are not walking in your divinity, this whole thing is a calamity. Because you're trying to go by the European standard of what is the masculine feminine relationship. It just doesn't work that way with us. You have to honor your feminine. You have to honor us first. And to honor us, you have to honor yourself first. We are out, and our spiritual power is being siphoned. And at this point, it doesn't even take any effort to do it. You don't have to have a coven of witches gathering to make it so. It's just so. And as long as you are living in weakness, allowing yourself to be weakened by perks and Patron and scissor or whatever the heck else their culture is putting out there for money, all of those resources going out of your community because you haven't taken your spiritual power in hand, and you're so busy calling on Jesus, waiting on Jesus. Jesus is God, so is Jehovah. But the great mystery is God of all. Out of the great mystery we all came. Gods and goddesses, humans and animals alike, came from the great mystery. There are many gods and goddesses. Many spirits, many universes, many worlds. You have to get yourself educated. But we was talking about Kemet, the land of Kemet, and the Egyptian religions, pantheon. Mama Bass is my goddess. Lord Jehut is my god. Of course, I deal with others. Lady Sekhmet, Lord Zeus. He's a Greek god. As I said, the Greeks and the Romans were black. If you look at Spain, if you look at Italy, if you look at not southern Italy, if you look at all those European nations closest to Africa, they are dark in complexion and hair. olive skin, as they say, because they were intermixed with Africans. Not just the Moors, Africans traveled freely. Before the slave trade, Africans traveled freely, and the seat of civilization and learning was in Africa. That's not up for debate. I want y'all to read the following. Okay, read the history of white people. Just please get that. Get the history of white people to begin the awakening. Get the history of white people and see exactly how all of this came to pass and how the power lies exclusively with Europeans, basically. And everybody else is trying to just be close to them. So you see the age, you want the white adjacent races, Asians, some Hispanics, because most Hispanics are intermixed with black people. Well, all, really, because I can't get off into that right now. I want to try to stay with sleep, with that sort of thing. So, also the power of now. Okay, the history of white people, power of now. Power of now is about strengthening your spiritual muscles. Okay, you start doing some mudras. Mudras are hand positions that are helpful when you are meditating. By all means, start to meditate. And meditation is nothing more than allowing your spirit to be loud and its flesh to be quiet. So you let the flesh speak in your mind, start talking about, well, this is stupid. You let the flesh do what it's going to do, but you stand in agreement with spirit. That's what meditation is. You don't have to say whether what the flesh or what your thoughts are saying is true or not, or you don't have to get in an argument with let it do what it's going to do. All you're doing is standing in agreement with the spirit. And to have that to be optimal, especially when you're first starting out, you need to be in quiet and silence. Now, I can meditate wherever. I can be sitting, I can be talking to you, and I'm in full meditation, full agreement with my spirit. So, I want to talk to y'all about the Kemetic religion. Okay, what happened is Mama Bass approached me, she made me aware of her. Wherever I go, I travel a lot. Wherever I go, cats are there. They are there. Now, I don't want to go like everybody else and say Mama Bass is all about cats. She's a great mother. Mama Bass is a great mother. She's a protector of children, and women and children especially. She is a great provider. If you want a lover, she's a provider. Matter of fact, they call Jehovah Jireh means the many-breasted one. I think that's what it means. God is not, the great mystery is neither male or female. Okay, let me see. The many-breasted one. El Shaddai. El Shaddai means the many-breasted one, the provider. That means he provides. Okay. The God who is more than enough, the all-sufficient God. That's what that means. And he is a God. Yes, a very powerful one. Okay? He is a God who, the Europeans, who speaks most to the Europeans. Even though his son, Jesus, okay, is African. He came from an African woman and an African man. And by African, I mean black. The Greeks intermixed with the Africans freely, and so did the Romans. It was not until they arrayed themselves against Africa with the Europeans that they became known as Europeans. And even then, the Italians were not considered white as late as the early 19th century, early 1900s, I'll say. Okay, same thing for the Greeks. They were not considered white. They were allowed to be seen as white to protect the rich European interests. And they saw that it was in their best interest to array everyone else against the Africans, because Africa used to be all powerful. And it took a lot to finally conquer Africa. And when it happened, Africa was under repeated conquering. So that's why the continent and people are so poor, because they were deprived of their instruments for learning. And so they fell into, everybody had to depend on the nomads, the people who lived off the land and were not were not seeking education. They were one with nature. So everyone who wanted to survive in the area had to fall in with them if they wanted to survive. So, and then there was repeated conquerings, rapings, raising of whole. There has been so much knowledge lost because of the conquering, and those who conquered took the knowledge, took some of that knowledge for themselves. They kept the knowledge and hoarded jealously. So Egypt was the first, along with the civilizations of Mesopotamia, to tame the land and to create great civilizations. As a matter of fact, it said that Egypt was the first great civilization, and it was started by black people, maintained by black people, caused to thrive by black people. Quiet as it's kept, I believe that the gods and goddesses were walking in and amongst the people in Egypt. This is how they came by their mathematical knowledge, their scientific knowledge. All of the knowledge that was in Egypt was brought to them by gods and goddesses who looked kindly up on the people and caused them to prosper. So I just want people to know that what is the religions? The Ifa or the voodoo and hoodoo and that sort of thing has its place. Santeria down in South Africa has its place. The Orishas have their place, but they are not the only African religion. They're not. We need, and I know people everybody love to say they were Cleopatra, or when they incarnated, they used to be Cleopatra in another life. And every time somebody talks about the great civilizations and black people want to claim a civilization, they want to talk about Egypt. But that is your birthright. Part of that, and I'm not saying everybody descended from Egyptians. I'm just saying that was an African civilization with African religions, and you can purify yourself, take your salt bath, refrain from drinking, fast for whatever period you set, and you can ask, and you have to try the spirit by the spirit. Okay? Any God that's telling you that you need to go out here and cut somebody is not a God. Okay? You got to try the spirit by the spirit. But back to sleep paralysis. I'm all over the place because I'm in menopause, and when I tell you my brain, sometimes it be just skidding away from me. There's a lot that you can do in the dream state. Now, here lately, if an entity comes to me, they don't come to me in my sleep. They will come in the room, and I will feel them come into the room or around me. And I really don't have to deal with them, honestly, a lot, because Mama Bass and Lord Jehu don't. You know what I'm saying? That's all they can do. And Mama Bass reminds me, don't participate in crazy. Don't be sitting around here talking about, I don't like to feel it. Don't do that. Just be still. And I wish they would. Okay, that's all they can do. Now, you keep learning, little girl. You keep getting spiritually strong. That's what you do. You don't worry about none of that. You keep getting strong. We got you. Okay, covered, period. So I just encourage you. This whole video is encouraging you at this point. That's the point of this video. I thought it was going to be about sleep around and revisiting that. No, the point of this video is I encourage you. if you have questions, okay? By all means, if you want to remain Christian, ain't nothing wrong with that. Ain't nothing wrong with that. I'm not going to sit here and say Christianity did that and that. I believe that Jehovah is a God. And so is his son. Yes, yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. I try not to disrespect people's religions and gods and goddesses, whoever they choose to worship. I try not to do that. Don't speak on things that you don't know. Especially when it comes, well, basically when I'm talking about when it comes to who are people deciding to worship or who are people deciding to pay honor to. Because my God and goddesses don't require that I worship them. But to honor them and to show respect, yes. Absolutely. They are great, powerful spirits you don't want to play with. They are not to be played with at all. So what does worship mean? Let's look up the meaning of worship. How about that? Let's just look up the meaning of worship. Worship. The feeling or expression of reverence and adoration for a deity, the worship of God. Well, I guess I do worship Mama Bass and Lord Jehovah. I guess I do. Yeah. So what else do I want to talk about? I want to talk about more about this whole idea of our spiritual power being stolen and siphoned away from us. It's as if where let's see, let me get a representation of what I'm trying to say. These are my tarot cards, and I read tarot. And people will say, that's demonic. Let me tell you something. When you feel that, you never forget it. When you feel the D word, you don't ever forget that. Period. Okay. This is the 8 of Swords. That's what I feel black people are right now and have been for centuries. Our spiritual power has been stolen from us, and we have the ability to get out. Usually the 8 of Swords is showing a person surrounded by swords, and they're blindfolded and their hands are behind them, but they can get out. So we are giving our power away. And it was set up, the way we were treated was set up so that we would give our power away. That's why people say, when they see people like Candace Owens and Kanye, it's like, they say Uncle Tom and they make a joke of him and all this sort of thing. But I think that we somehow sense the truth of the matter. You know what I'm saying? They got it bad, but they ain't the only one. We all have a level of inferiority about us because that's how it was set up. And as long as we behave in ways, as long as we don't go in and address all of that, the more our power will be stolen from us. So it is vital that we stop all of this sweet by and by stuff and start taking responsibility for what we believe spiritually. Not just what grandmama taught us, not just what mama taught us, but what we can learn about spirituality and taking into hand our own spiritual growth and strengthening. What's going on inside of there? In you, in your universe, in your inner space, what is going on? It's not enough to just, like the pattern that we've been having where you go along and you don't go to church and then all of a sudden you get saved and then you go to church all the time and now you are good to go spiritually. you go to the same building and you listen to the same man reading from the same book, doing the same thing, and your life ain't getting no better. You ain't getting no stronger. You still, as Paul said, you still taking milk when you're supposed to be eating meat. And greater things than this shall ye do. I hadn't seen it yet. Jesus said, and greater things than this shall you do. Didn't he raise the dead? Didn't he heal the sick? Didn't he turn water into wine? And he said, and greater things than this shall you do. But y'all right here still talking about what the white man doing to you. I wonder why. It starts in here. It starts in the spiritual realm, and then it is manifested onto this plane. So whatever you believe spiritually, that's what you're going to see in your life. I don't care what it is. You ain't fooling nobody. You shall know the tree by its fruit, Jesus said. What are you producing? And I'm not talking about Air Force Ones. I'm not talking about Balenciaga and all this other branding that you put on yourselves to make you feel like you are, I don't know, elevated in some way. I don't care if you live in a single wide, broken down 1970 trailer home. Where is your joy? Where is your peace? Where is your power? And what are you doing with it? That's the question I would like y'all to work out. So the books that I told y'all about are A History of White People and The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. And please like, comment, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell to be notified when I do put out videos. Hopefully I'll be doing a lot more posting. And y'all have a good one. Bye-bye. Note the shape of the head on the recreation to the left, which is more towards European, and how they had to make that it looks deformed. Whereas the people of the region, in the region right now, their head, it's called pragmatism, of the people in North Africa and that region. The Kenyans, the Ethiopians have that pragmatism. And they had to do all of that when the natural fit, if they had not tried to shoehorn his features into European, if they had allowed them to remain African, it would have been a natural fit, and it is a natural fit. That is what AI created. So please go over to @KingMono on YouTube and look at all of these revelations that he's doing regarding how the Europeans made themselves the gatekeepers of Egyptian history and artifacts, so that they could keep the secret, or it's not even a secret. Keep our minds in bondage.